GToast. GToast is the verifier of the former top 1 convolution and was number 2 on platformer rank by the end of 2024. She was right behind Ayumi, who's widely considered to be the greatest player of all time, as he had the triple top 1 of convolution, abyss deathless, and null deathless, the last of which GToast had yet to beat. After Ayumi's retirement and later verifying the top 1 delightful climb and formerly thought impossible level ruined, GToast would have not only verified the entire top 3 at the time, but also finally had dethroned Ayumi. For the next several months, GToast would have a stranglehold as the best player, achieving both the first ever perfect score on platform rank and the only ever transcendental score, meaning if everything was placed as soon as it was verified, she still would have completed the hardest 10 challenges. She'd then take a semi-hiatus at the end of 2025 before coming back and claiming first victor on the 10-second top 5 PLS. Tanuklen. Tanuklen was ranked number 5 at the end of 2024 and is one of the eternal 5, now 3, of a group of players who have never dropped out of the top 10 in platform rank. Tanuklen's history was one marked by being always so close but not quite reaching the pinnacle of competition. He had reached a peak of number 2 on 3 separate occasions, first being behind Ayumi and then later on being behind GToast. However, after her hiatus, he saw his opportunity and caught up in the last quarter of the year. During his time, he was one of the main 2 players who brought Russia back as the number 1 country in platforming, receiving the second ever perfect score on platformer rank. He also became the number 1 player on the platformer list, which uses rankings based on the top 100 levels instead of your top 10 personal hardests. And he finally dethroned GToast as the best player in December 2025 with a last second verification of the top 3 fake sunrise. Tanuklen's fellow Russian Artemka is both the last of our top 3 and the most improved player of all time. In 2024, he was struggling on beating Forgotten Vale, a level outside the top 30, taking over 70,000 attempts on it. He was ranked outside the top 50 on December 22nd, 2024. However, within the span of less than a year, he reached a peak of ranking number 1 for a few days. Within this time, he also helped bring Russia back to the forefront of platforming, dethroning Tanuklen's number 1 spot on the platformer list by the end of the year, and also achieved the 3rd ever perfect score on the platformer rank. We have a more in-depth breakdown of Artemka's rise to the top, and you should watch that after this video. He also verified Dementia. Dashing ended 2024 with a ranking of 2-1, after RobTop gave in to his uber gamer audience. RobTop rated several difficult levels, breaking the long-standing several-way max moon tie in August 2024. Dashing became one of the only 2 players to obtain max moons, after it became exceptionally more difficult in February 2025. However, he'd failed to maintain this as the marathon levels IWannaPlatformerList and Dusty Travel were both rated. He's also known for fluking 3 out of the top 5, including the final screen in Diamonds for Dashers, which is by far the hardest part of the level. He also fluked the hardest jetpack level I Loved You from 75% and Meat Tower's spinning meat creature section, which really tests your nerve control as it's both far in and requires you to balance yourself on steep slopes. He would later take a hiatus and end the year with a ranking of number 5. Revenn. Revenn is a leaderboard mod who ended up at rank 30 by the end of 2024 and became the number 1 moon grinder after Dashing's temporary hiatus. However, Rev is most well known for grinding platformer coins. After Luckqualizer and then LunarLobster's reign as the number 1 coin grinder, Revenn has now collected 49 out of the 50 hardest coins. The only one he's now missing is the top 1 coin from the slope boosting extreme Feverous Dream. Minigames have a separate checklist, where Revenn is only missing coins from a Super Hexagon remake, 2 Five Nights at Freddy's inspired levels, and hard Tetris coins. Aside from that, Revenn is known for having the best fluke in all of platformer mode up to this day, where he flukes more than the last 40% of the former top 1 convolution, and he has ended the year with a ranking of number 21. NNG12. NNG12 was ranked 7 at the end of 2024, and is the best player in South Korea. He is most well known for verifying the top 1 rated level, Diamonds for Dashers, and the hardest jetpack level, I Loved You, where he won the verification race against Ungafo, currently the best jetpack player who also had a several week head start. In addition, he was the first victor of Dead of Night. His completion of IWannaPlatformerList earlier this year was the final nail in the coffin for Ayumi's spot within the top 10. In addition to ending up at rank 11 in 2025, NNG also balances being a top 700 classic player with completions such as Shardscapes and his current hardest classic, Scoop and Circles. Thank you for watching, extra shout out to our channel members, and subscribe since we're less than 20 subs away from 2k. He also verified Dementia.